All right. Well, today, my name is John L. Day, and will be presenting with Kenneth Freeman regarding the homestead property tax exclusion in North Carolina. So what is the homestead property tax exclusion? It's a North Carolina law that may reduce the taxable amount of eligible real property for qualified homeowners. In simple terms, it can essentially reduce the amount that you owe yearly on your property taxes. In some applications, it can be a single application, some that essentially renew each year, while other applications you have to submit every year. And the goal is to keep qualified homeowners in their homes. And we see it at Legal Aid and I see it as a way to really keep homeowners that are in where their property value has substantially increased, and to keep them in the home where property taxes won't be the reason why they are having tax foreclosures in the future. So how to receive the exclusion? Generally, the application period opens on January 1st and ends on June 1st each year. There are exceptions for an application that is submitted after June 1st, however. So that is a heightened standard that you must demonstrate a showing of good cause for failing to submit a timely application. So the overarching purpose and the overarching way to think about it is great to submit this timely, but if you have a reasoning as why you can't submit it timely, then don't be afraid to submit a late application as well. There are 3 types of exclusions, and today we'll be really focusing on the elderly or disabled property tax homestead exclusion. There's also the property tax homestead circuit breaker, and there's also the disabled veteran property tax exclusion. So the elderly or disabled property tax homestead exclusion, in order to be a qualified homeowner, you must meet these following requirements as of January 1 before the taxable year for which the benefit is claimed. So if you're applying for the exclusion coming up in 2021, then as of January 1 of 2020, you must satisfy these requirements. So just think of it in that terms when you're thinking about the before and the timing of this, when you would be qualified. So the first requirement is that you're at least 65 years of age or older. And there's also so you can either be over 65 years old or older, or you can be totally and permanently disabled. Next requirement is you must have an income from the previous calendar year that is below or equal to the income eligibility limits. This does change yearly, and the current trend is that the income level limit is being increased slightly each year. So for 2019, the income limit was $30,000, a little over $30,000. And you must be a North Carolina resident. And there's also some additional requirements. This is homestead property tax exclusion only applies to your primary residence, and it only applies to homeowners. So this will not work if you're trying to have two homes. This will not work if you are a renter. And Casey will lead us with self-advocacy.
So I just wanted to talk briefly about self-advocacy when it comes to the Homestead Act. And basically what I mean is, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to do your research. Go to your attorney, go to your social worker. This is what we are here for. And it is very important that you feel comfortable and not shamed in asking for assistance. This is what these programs are for. So if you qualify, definitely reach out, ask questions, do your research, allow us to assist you. Sometimes these processes can be a little bit confusing if you try to go it alone, and that's what legal aid is here for. Um, and also, you want to make sure that in the situation that Jonelle was speaking about, of if you have to apply after June 1st, let's say you found out about it late, I think it is very important to attach a narrative and a correct narrative. You don't want to fluff it. You don't want to add an extra. You want to be very open and honest about the situation, what is going on, and why it would be very important for you to receive the exclusion. Because again, the reason for this project and the reason for the Homestead Act is because they want to keep people in homes. They want people to retain their property. And it's important to retain property because that is how we create generational wealth. So when you're creating your narrative, when you're letting the county know why you need to apply or why they should consider giving you this property tax relief after the cutoff date, you want to be very open, but you want to be very straightforward. Don't be ashamed to say if it's a medical situation, if it was a family situation, whatever the situation is, make sure that they know exactly why this situation caused you to A, be late in applying, but also B, make it very prevalent and relevant that you need to be able to have this property tax exclusion so that you're not looking at a large financial burden of having to pay back taxes, and you're not looking at a situation of possible foreclosure or anything in the future. So if you ever need assistance with that, that's what the social workers are here for. That's what I'm here for. Contact us, let us know what's going on, and we will do our very best to work with you to make sure that you are able to maintain your property and get that property tax relief.
And here's our a slide with all of our contact information, especially for the disaster relief project where me and Mr. Freeman work. This is extremely important if you're going through the rebuild process and you're having you owe back property taxes, or whether you are eligible or you think you might be eligible and you're struggling to continue to make that yearly payment before the next disaster comes. Let's go ahead and determine and evaluate if you are eligible for this exclusions to take that financial burden off of you. So feel free to give us a call at the number listed and apply at legalaidnorthcarolina.org. And if you need to reach out to the disaster relief project specifically, there's our link as well. Thank you so much.